There
we go. Yeah, exactly.
Should be good.
Okay,
Shouldn't change seats.
all right, welcome, everybody. This is the Monday, June 9th meeting of the Select Board. We have a packed agenda tonight, so we're gonna try to keep things moving along as best we can. First, we have some announcements. The first thing that I'd like to announce is that it is June and we are celebrating Pride Month. And this month and every month, the town of Millis supports and celebrates the LGBTQ plus community. And we're committed to fostering a community where everyone feels seen, respected, and safe.
All right.
So we all have our pride stuff on tonight.
You've done all you can do.
And I think, I think people might have seen the little field of pride flags we have out front on the town lawn. So we wanted to be able to do something to commemorate Pride Month. So
We did.
happy Pride.
Erin,
Yes.
can I just take the mouse from you? Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing we have is a community forum that's upcoming. It's for the middle high school building project. There's a community forum this Wednesday. It's Monday, so 2 days, June 11th, from 1 to 2:30 at the Millis Public Library. So there'll be updates on the building project. You can review the selected preferred option and learn about next steps in the process. So that would be great if you're able to go to that. It is during the day, so there will be other forums held at other times, but this is one during the daytime if that fits in your schedule better. The Finance Committee currently has 2 openings, so it's at
Today there are 3.
okay, the Finance Committee has 3 openings.
Does that mean there's 4 people resigning, or did one of the people that had taken one of the 3 spots?
Yes,
step
one
up?
of the people moved to the school committee. And then 2 other ones resigned.
Okay,
So it's 3 open slots.
3 open slots, yes,
Okay.
3 total, yes.
so there's 3
thought
openings for the
so.
Finance Committee. The function of the Finance Committee is to act as an advisor to the voters of the town of Millis, with whom ultimate appropriating authority rests. The town administrator, who reports to an elected select board, administers municipal functions. The superintendent of schools, who reports to an elected school committee, administers the operation of the school department. The Finance Committee is not elected but appointed by the town moderator. Because of this fact, the Finance Committee functions on an advisory basis and avoids setting policy. Finance Committee is not part of either of the 2 general functions of municipal operation and education, and therefore remains objective in its recommendations. So the job is to study the budget and each warrant article in detail and then make recommendations to town meeting. So the Finance Committee has a really big job, and people do rely on their recommendations and reasoning at town meeting. They're the ones that make the motions. They're the ones that, you know, participate in the first level of discussion for each motion. So you don't have to be a finance whiz or anything like that to be on the Finance Committee. You just have to have the best interests of the town in mind, and you'll do a just fine job on the committee. So if it's something you're interested in trying out and looking into, then please contact.
Yep, you
Our
contact the
office.
town administrator's office.
Mhm.
You can send an email at townadministratorsoffice@millisma.gov, or if you go on the homepage of the website, there's a little square button on the left-hand side. Click on that and it says jobs and volunteers, and you can find the information there as well.
Yeah,
And they're taking applications through June 20th.
or until they fill it, I'd imagine.
Well, or until filled.
Yeah.
So far, we do have a bit of interest so
Good.
far, but.
I'll just say, having done it for over 20 years before I came to this, it's a great way to learn about town government and have a direct impact on it. And you don't have to know anything about finance at all. I mean, I'm a CFO, so I knew about finance, but about 2/3 of the people on the committee have really no financial background. I tried to have the name changed to warrant committee, because really their job is to recommend on the warrant, which includes zoning articles, financial articles, planning, you know, the planning board stuff. So it's way more than finance. The budget is one of the articles that they recommend on, but there's usually 20 other articles that have very little to do with finance. So anyway, it's a great place to start and you shouldn't be intimidated by the word finance committee. That scares a lot of people off.
All right, the next announcement is the Cultural Council Annual Art Festival. That's this coming Saturday, June 14th at the Millis Public Library from 12 to 3. And the theme is Art Building Community. So there'll be a gallery of local art. You can create chalk art, a Broadway review, face painting, make crafts, improv games, a dance lesson, and more. So it sounds like it'll be a fun afternoon at the library. And the last announcement I have is the Summer Social has been promoted recently on social media and other places. And it is for a light dinner that you can bring your friends, family, neighbors to in the area in Millis. And it's being sponsored by the Economic Development Committee. I know it appears as though it's a library function, but it is from the Economic Development Committee. So you can bring your family, friends, neighbors to a summer social, share your ideas about how to make the town center a more vibrant place. Professional staff of the award-winning Hudson Mass, BID, and a Main Streets organization will share their success stories. And we're just seeking input as it explores ways to potentially create a town center partnership organization. So there'll be food catered by Lucas, and gift certificates to local businesses will be raffled at the end of the evening. And all ages are welcome, so it sounds like that will be a fun time. So that is Wednesday, June 11th, from 6 to 7:45 at the Millis Public Library.
Erin, can I
Yes.
have a couple?
Yeah, you have a couple?
Yep, I have a couple. A couple announcements that got nothing to do with nothing. Those are the best kinds of announcements. I don't know if everybody gets this letter in the mail, but I did. As select person in Millis. This is, the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. I got a letter a month ago. I think we all got
We
this
did,
letter.
yeah.
Did everybody in Millis get?
No.
Oh, just the select board? Okay, somebody told me everybody.
I got it.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Finance committee may get it
Did
too.
any of
Okay.
you guys get a letter from the Norfolk?
Yeah.
You all got it?
I
Yeah.
think
All right.
town officials may be getting it too,
Oh.
just by
Maybe.
judging by the hand raising up.
Wait, wait, it's a letter from the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, because they give each town money, a percent of every deed that gets transferred in the town of Millis. A percentage comes to the town, and it goes into the budget of the, which one, CPC?
Yes.
Which CPC? The
Community
Preservation
Preservation
Commission. So Millis in 2024, because of all the transfers of property, received $84,875. That money goes to the CPC, and part of that money goes, well, part of it's going to the renovation of the train station, right?
Mhm.
The $125,000. And so this is money that goes into their budget, and they handed out some for signage for the Conservation Commission, et cetera. So it's not chump change that comes, and it was almost $85,000 in 2024. So I thought that was very cool. And then one other thing that Millis got, when people are just giving us money. We got our first big legal settlement payment with the companies that are associated with PFAS. So we got a little over $300,000, which is only a first payment, we believe. Mike, you want to add a little color to this?
Sure, this is something that the DPW director and I and the board have been working on for several years. And this is part of a class action lawsuit against companies that produce PFAS on an industrial scale. 3M is one of the big players in that, and so again, we are part of a very broad class action suit, and this is the first part of the settlement. And the town, again, is receiving these funds. We'll receive additional funds in the future, which we hope will take off some of the burden of the water ratepayers for the all the PFAS needed filtration and so forth. So it's good news.
Yes, it's
And
good news.
it'll be again continued, and we'll keep the board updated as we move along. But there are other companies involved as well. So it's a good piece of news in what otherwise has been a difficult process that we've
Right.
tried to stay ahead of.
Yes, but we are fighting and trying to get reimbursed for all these costs. And then the final piece was just came out in the Globe the other day, that the towns that were fighting the MBTA zoning, and they were putting their argument on whether or not it was an unfunded mandate. The judge just came down, was it yesterday or Friday? That it was no surprise. It is not an unfunded mandate, so the towns that were fighting that, Milton, there were like a handful of towns, 6 or 8 towns. They lost that case, so they will be creating MBTA zoning. Those are my announcements.
Do you have anything, Craig?
I got nothing, except we were ahead of the game on the MBTA zoning, we got that done. Yes.
All right, so the next thing we have on our agenda is our municipal moment, and tonight we're going to have the Recreation Department come speak to us. We're gonna just learn a little bit about their mission and some of the big upcoming events, wherever you want. Whatever makes you happy.
Let's see. Erin, come on. I'm dragging your crony up. My right hand woman, that's great.
Good evening, Chris Fogarty, Millis Recreation Director, and my right-hand woman, Erin LeBlanc, this is our program coordinator for the town of Millis. First, just, I do want to let you know, I'm glad you brought that up with the CPC funding. We are currently looking into getting some of those funds, for some tarps for the field. So, Jim McKay and I have been discussing that, and we're looking into that, so we are gonna try to take advantage of that, so thank you for bringing that up. Just want you to know that we are paying attention. So municipal moment, I got 1 minute, so here I go, you ready?
Oh, you have a
You know, more
moment.
than that, we changed it.
It was going to be a minute, but now it's a moment.
So a couple things we have coming up, and again, thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to come in and kind of share some of our things that we're doing and our mission and mottos. I know you requested our mission, but I'd like to start with saying our motto is probably better than anything. It's be fun, have fun, give fun, and that's what we do. We try from infants to active adults, in every aspect in what we do. What we have coming up currently is the carnival. So that's going to be this year at the town park from June 26th through June 29th. And we have fireworks scheduled for that Saturday evening at approximately 9:30 p.m. So everybody come on down. There will be some special bracelets. We have the link on our website. You can purchase things in advance. And just come down. It's a tradition now, so we're really happy that they're coming back, and it's always a good time. If anybody does want to donate to the fireworks, which costs about, well, it's not about, it's a minimum of $10,000 to put on the fireworks display. We do have some information on the website if you'd like to donate. And it would just be made payable to either the fireworks gift fund, or we actually were able to set up a link and you can click on it on the town website to donate directly. And we've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of great response from the community and local businesses. And I'm proud to say that we have met our goal for this year. But again, if anybody does donate, it's a specific gift fund. If any of those funds will go directly towards any future fireworks. It's not gonna go to anything else, so it's specific for the fireworks. Again, fireworks will be on June 28th at 9:30 p.m. here at 900 Main Street, Town Park. Come on down, it's a great time, the carnival's always fun. Next event we have coming up is this weekend is the Father's Day Fishing Derby, which is always fantastic. It's at South End Pond, which is a little, like, secret little beauty in our town. And it's always a great turnout. We're very fortunate. We have Keith's Tackle always comes down. He's amazing. He always comes down with the bait. We have trophies and T-shirts for first 25, 30 dads that come down to register. It's free.
Is it both days?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's just June 15th, Sunday, June 15th. At 9 AM, we sound the bell. You go, you do your fishing, you come in and we weigh and measure your fishes and we keep track of it and then tally it all up at the end. We ended at about 11 o'clock, so it's always fun. It's always a great turnout, so it's nice to see all the little kids that when they were little and now they're kind of big and bringing their own kids down there. Have I been here that long? Okay, next event that we have coming up that people might be interested in is we have the Goats of Dover, who have graciously come back again. Again, speaking of South End Pond, we had the goats down there. They got rid of all the poison ivy a couple of years ago, which was amazing. It cleared out a lot of space. But now we're gonna bring back and have another round of goat yoga, which I know some of you have attended, and it's really fun. We've also added on to that a story time with goats. And that's from a local author, Kathleen Flaherty, who wrote the An Octopus Named Mom. I don't know if anybody has this book.
I have that book.
See? So she's gonna come down, she's gonna read her book and maybe a couple other books. And so we'll have story time with goats. And then right afterwards, we're gonna have goat yoga. So it's two separate events, but the goats will all be down there and it's a lot of fun. It's really cute.
They're adorable.
Where will they be?
Yeah, where do you bring?
So this is gonna be on next Saturday, June 21st. And they're right out here at the town courtyard, the town hall, right out in the courtyard. out
Right,
here.
the back entrance of the gym.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they put like a little fence up and they let the goats run around, it's so cute. So there is a fee for that, it's $35, but per class. You can find all this information on the website, in our brochures, or just call us, we'll be happy to help you out. Let's see. We also have a lot of summer programs coming up, some fabulous camps. Of course, our Get Out and Play, which is a staple here. We've also tried to, due to the requests of the town, people like a full day. So where we try to split up our Get Out and Play program is 9 to 12. Erin was fantastic in reaching out to another company so that we could have a 12 to 3 extended program. So we'll have the Get Out and Play from 9 to 12, and then from 12 to 3, we have several other programs that will extend that day, including engineering workshop, vet school, what is it, the kitchen, I'm sorry.
Kids cooking or
Kids,
something.
thank you, kids. Help me here.
So you have the option, it's kind of like an a la carte
It's
sort of
fantastic.
situation where,
Yes.
Wicked Cool for Kids is a science-based program.
Yeah.
And so each week that we hold Get Out and Play, they'll offer
Erin.
they'll offer a different class. So they're offering engineering workshop, they're offering vet school, rocket science, and Hogwarts STEAM Express. So those would take the day from previously
You like
that
that
would
one?
end at 12 to a 3 PM end time, which some people wanted. We got a lot of feedback from parents wanting a full day. Some people do not want that. Some people want that half day. So this kind of allows us to satisfy everybody's needs.
Yeah,
And that kids cooking class extended extends it for 1 week for just an hour, just till 1 o'clock. But it just gives like a medley of choices.
That's great to have those options.
And they're all on site, so the counselors will take the kids from the first half to the second half, so parents don't have to worry about, you know, their kids' safety or how are they getting to and from. We're gonna take care of all of that.
Oh, I think our minute's almost up. All right, last.
No, moment.
Moment.
I know you.
Oh, sorry, moment. Okay. Last but not least, another highlight we just wanted to bring to your attention is, of course, the summer concert series. So every Wednesday in August at the bandstand, starting at 6:30 PM, we have a lineup of local artists that will be coming. It's all free. It is sponsored by Middlesex Savings Bank and the Millis Cultural Council. So this summer we have, August 6th, I'll go very quickly through these. August 6th will be, Michael Torreira, which I'm sure a lot of people know. August 13th will be the Pub Kings, backed by popular demand. They're fantastic. If you haven't seen them, please come down. August 20th, the School of Rock, which is all the kids, like they go, you can maybe speak a little bit more about them, but they're fantastic. It's kids, they're coming down and they're just amazing. And August 27th is Flashback. So also along with that, we've coordinated with CC's Ice Cream and Augusta's Chicken on the Road food truck.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so bring your blanket, bring a chair, bring your family, bring your neighbors, bring your friends, make some memories, come on down, we'll have some ice cream, there's a truck available. Again, the concerts are free, and if you opt to bring your own picnic dinner, have at it, it's amazing. So we love to see everybody getting up and dancing, and just enjoying the summer and making memories with everybody. So thank you for the opportunity. And
Thank you, guys. I think you've had a fantastic lineup this year of programming, so
Good
it's been
stuff.
great. Yes.
so, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Let's look
thank you
forward
for
to
the
it.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Have a good summer.
Yeah.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay.
Hope the weather cooperates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so next we have a number of appointments on the agenda. First, we're going to start. Am I in the right order for the motions?
Yes.
Yeah,
should be.
okay.
Yep.
So first, I'm gonna start with police traffic officers.
Good evening. This evening, requesting the authorization to appoint following individuals as traffic supervisors for the police department. These individuals are responsible for directing and managing traffic to ensure seamless and safe flow of our roads. So they're gonna augment our full-time staff to cover any extra road construction. Comprised of retired police and current communications officers. It's gonna be Sergeant William Dwyer, who's retired, Robin Cahill, Garen Isley, Liana Ladola, Tegan LeBlanc, and Nicholas Elizio.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes.
On the recommendation of the police chief, I do recommend that the board ratify my appointment of retired Sergeant William Dwyer, Robert Cahill, Garen Easel, Liana Ladola, Tegan LeBlanc, and Nicholas Elizio as traffic supervisors for the town of Millis.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next we have a DPW HEO laborers.
So that would be heavy equipment operator.
Heavy equipment operator.
Thank you.
In case anyone doesn't know what to use.
Good evening. So this is an open position that was for resignation. This isn't the new position that we're going to hopefully appoint somebody within the next couple of weeks. We interviewed a couple of candidates, and myself and David Romachi, the DPW superintendent, narrowed down to Ethan Lazar. Hope I said that correct. Ethan is a graduate of Millis High School. He's also one of the, him and Kyle, who's here, also are the last two, who are on the Super Bowl teams. That played for the Mills. It's a big deal for me, I don't know, you guys, it's for me. Appreciates that. Ethan, showed during the application and discussion that he shows the enthusiasm that, you know, we would need. We've been pretty successful with hiring past people that had worked and went to Millis High School. I mean, this year we have two more Millis High, students that for our summer help, and this will be our fourth full-time DPW person working at the DPW that's graduated from Millis High School. It's been very successful, like I said, with that trend of hiring people that have gone to the school. Ethan's here, well, I guess if you want to wait, do the appointment, so we do, again, myself and the superintendent do recommend to the town administrator that you hire Ethan Lazar as the PTO later. He'll be working at the transfer station Tuesday through Saturday.
Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Ethan Lazier as a heavy equipment operator laborer pending a successful physical examination. And with the condition that a 2B hoisting engineering license and CDL Class B driver's license are obtained within 1 year of appointment.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Concerned about the rate.
Next time.
Which one? Yeah, the two of them.
Congrats.
Oh, you're leaving? I think you need to come back, right?
Yes,
You have one more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ethan.
Thank you, appreciate it. This I'm doing the summit, right?
Yes.
Yes, summer.
So we have, one of these gentlemen he was here with us last year, and he had so much fun that he, roped his older brother into it. I had a,
It's Brendan and Aiden Ludwig.
Brendan and Ludwig.
And Aiden Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Yes.
They both, again, one's graduated from Millis High, he's in college,
Yeah.
and the other is a Millis, junior. Again, Brendan worked with us last year and it was a great success, so I'd like to have him back. This is gonna give us, I think this is gonna give us 7. And there were, most of them, because their age, we can only let them work 20 hours a week. They can only use weed whackers, so there's so much we can do with them, but they can pick trash up. And there's a lot of, weeds.
Trash.
to eat. There's a lot of trash.
And weeds too.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Aiden Ludwig and Brendan Ludwig as summer DPW workers pending successful physical examinations.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
That's all we got.
Okay,
Okey-dokes.
next we have Deputy Plumbing and Gas Inspector.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In your packet is a memo from, or an email from Robert Fogarty, our building commissioner, who is enthusiastically recommending Chris Canny for the position of alternate building commissioner for the town of Millis. Both our current building commissioner as well as Karen and I have had the opportunity and privilege of working really over the past couple of years in a few different capacities. He has certainly helped us out several times, being a temporary building commissioner and a temporary alternate building commissioner. So with that, I would recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Christopher Canny as alternate building commissioner effective July 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
So I
carries
just
unanimously.
realized, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
okay.
that, there's a paper missing in here. So first it was a deputy building inspector. So this deputy building inspector is Stephen Frasca. You may know him from town already. He will be coming on, I said, as deputy. Tim Costello is our current plumbing and gas inspector, so that he, as a deputy, would just fill in if he's not available.
Okay, so that's coming in another meeting.
Nope, that's
No,
not
it's on-
today. I just.
it's on your agenda.
The paper got lost.
It
all
is
this
on your
paper.
agenda, it just didn't make it into.
So I would recommend, to you to recommend his appointment pending a successful physical inquiry.
So, Madam Chair, I do recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Mr. Frasca as the Deputy Plumbing and Gas Inspector.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, again, the board's agenda packet, you do have, a few emails or a few memos from the library director, Kim Tolson. One is recommending Newton Matthew to be appointed to the position of on-call library assistant. So I am recommending, that the board ratify my appointment of Newton Matthew. And Hannah Rochelle, who is another person put forward by the library director. As on-call library assistants pending successful physical examinations and queries.
So moved.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thanks.
Recreation camp?
Yes, Madam Chair, in your packet, again, is a memo from the, oh, okay.
Sorry,
Good,
I don't know if I'm supposed to put it up.
I will turn it over to you.
Okay, what do you need from me? Just the list of our
Yes.
counselors?
Well, we have the.
We have the list.
And the motion, so unless you wanna.
Unless
speak
you want
about
to add anything about the candidates. and-
Well, they're amazing.
Okay.
As I
We have
expect, but.
A whole bunch. we have a whole bunch who are returning,
Yes.
and then we have a whole separate bunch who are new to us. New to the program is Maggie Graham will be our director. Mia Carr will be a lead adult counselor, along with Amanda Fallon will also be the lead counselor. So the youth counselors are Alex Avakian, Riley Ensminger, Abigail Kay, Nora Malloy, Tessa Molinari, Abigail Palmer, Molly Rand, Nora Skinnow, Erin Sullivan, Ben Walker, and Abigail Zampel. Also equally as important are our volunteer counselors. They'll be volunteering through Millis Rec Serves for community service hours. And that is Sydney Ensminger, Caitlin Palmer, and Emma Donahue. So it's a super great crew.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be a great summer.
So,
So,
I was gonna say, just in the motions, I did not include the volunteer counselors unless you think
Yeah,
they
they're
need
not-
to be officially
not-
appointed.
they're not required to be appointed.
They're not,
That's why, so they're not paid, so that's.
I just wanted to give
No,
them
thank
some
you.
recognition, absolutely.
So, just,
they work hard.
I was gonna say, unless.
Yes.
I have one question. Do we run the volunteer counselors the same Cory and stuff background check, or are they underage?
No, they are middle schoolers.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
they haven't.
the
had
lead
time.
counselors have to have Cory's
would
and
probably
physical,
forget.
so they do both.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair, I actually have a series of motions or recommendations. So the first is that I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Molly Graham, Amelia Carr, and Amanda Fallon as lead counselors pending successful queries.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
motion carries.
And Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Alex Avakian, Tessa Molinari, Abigail Palmer, Molly Rand, and Abigail Zampel pending receipt of active work permits.
So moved.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Riley Ensminger, reappointment of Riley Ensminger, Abigail Kay, Noreen Malloy, Nora Scannell, Aaron Sullivan, and Benjamin Walker.
So moved.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Madam
Okay,
Chair, I think the last appointment on
Yeah.
your list today, you did receive, in your packet, a memo from, the fire chief, Chief Barrett, requesting the appointment of Catherine Dowling as an intern call firefighter. Just a little background, two of, our members, from the fire department presented at the career fair at Mass Maritime and gathered a great deal of interest from students about internships. Catherine's a Norfolk resident. They contacted the department and scheduled an interview. Catherine is a junior at Mass Maritime, majoring in emergency management. She is passionate about public safety and has taken on leadership roles at the academy. She will work with the department to become an EMT and a certified firefighter, as well as work with the chief directly in emergency management to complete the town's CEMP plan. And he is requesting her appointment. So I am recommending to the board that you ratify my appointment of Catherine Dowling as an on-call firefighter / intern pending a successful physical examination and court.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Okay, so next we have the approval of proposal for engineering services, lead and copper rule revisions and improvements compliance.
Thank you. And that's a mouthful.
Yes, it
And that's
is.
what it is, and that's exactly, this is another one of the state's unfunded mandates. It's a regulation that we have to comply with. And there's not much we can do about it. We all do remember, we all received in the mail, a checklist of what they're requesting all homeowners to do is to get out of their basement, take a picture of their water meter at that general vicinity and send it back to us. We've had very little reply to that. And so now we have to follow up with more letters, and every time we don't get response, we still have to remind the homeowners every November that they have to send this information in until the entire system is taken care of. We will eventually have to start sending people knocking onto us, maybe phone calls, if everyone doesn't comply with that. There's a certain, lead was usually used between 1983 and nineteen eighty something. You know, in that time frame, when the old build is used, lead, the pipes. We don't have that many in Millis, but we still have to prove that we don't have it. So this contract is with Kleinfelder. They've already done our first 2 phases. They filed all the applications for us and they make sure that everything is done properly. So this is phase 2, and that's in the amount of $187,000. And that was, the money was appropriated back in May 7, 2024, article number 10 at the annual Springtown meeting on that day.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I am recommending that the board, approve the 3-year contract for the lead and copper rule, as presented by the Department of Public Works Director.
I move that the board approve and enter into a 3-year contract for lead and copper rule compliance assistant phase 2 with Kleinfelder Northeast Inc. for a not to exceed amount of $187,000 and authorize the town administrator to sign on the town's behalf.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The next bid is for Liberty Chevrolet. This is the contract that, the dump truck with Sandra Plow that was approved at this past May town meeting. We understand that we will not accept the vehicle until after July 1st because the funds won't be available for us to accept that. So I would ask that there's no trade-in with this vehicle. Because that one's going to the junkyard, that we're gonna replace this one with. I would ask that it not to exceed $98,830.10.
I move that the board approve and enter into a contract for 2025 Chevy Silverado dump truck with sander and plow from Liberty Chevrolet of Wakefield, Mass. For an amount not to exceed $98,831 and authorize the town administrator to sign on the town's behalf.
so one question, is there no residual metal value, nothing?
Oh, yeah, we
You got
trade it.
scrap.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, I'm sorry.
All right, good,
But yeah,
second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
and lastly, this contract, this is for the meteor that's inside the PFAS treatment canisters that cleans the water. Are we on that one now?
There was 2 from the fire chief.
Okay.
To deal with those quickly first.
You can wait up there, these are
Yeah,
quick.
these are very quick. So Madam Chair, in the board packet, you'll see a memo from Chief Barrett for quotes for the fire alarm upgrade and the UTV trailer. He is requesting that the board approve the ordering of both. Each of these will take several months to complete, and the invoicing will not happen until after July 1st. So I am recommending, I am recommending the board approve and enter into a contract for a TRX 50 radio box receiver system equipment, including installation, programming, testing, and training with LW Bills Company of Georgetown, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $75,082.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And the other item, on behalf of the chief, I'm recommending that the board approve and enter into a contract for an 8.5 by 16 foot flat top front car hauler trailer with Yared Trailer Sales and Service of Medfield, Mass. For an amount not to exceed $13,500.
So moved.
second,
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
okay,
So just a quick note on Mr. Garrett, Mr. Garrett, the most resident, he's been very good to all of us. I can tell you that all our trailers at the DPW purchased through him. Competitive bids, but very good to the town. The last bid that I have for tonight is a granular, wait to get it, a 3-year contract for granular activated carbon replacement services. So what I mean is the media that's inside the tanks, they're not there forever. I mean, they have to be taken out and, so it's in the tank. We will own that and we're gonna own this product here. So, the process when we first looked at this was that we would have to shut the well down one at a time. And this way we won't have to shut the well and keep it down while it's trucked off and cleaned and brought back and put into service. This way we'll be able to empty it and fill it back up with a second group of media that we own. And this is for all 3 wells for today. This will be wells for wells 1, 2, and 3. So that the funds that we received, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to use that to offset even like the cost of this. We're still working on how we're gonna pay for this. I mean, we have the funds to pay for it, so I don't want to give it a bad impression. We definitely have the funds. But working with the finance director, she's looking at different ways that will best be able to pay it for. So I would ask that you approve the contract not to exceed $195,400.
I move that the board authorize the town administrator to sign the notice of award for a 3-year contract with Granular Activated Carbon Replacement Systems replacement services to Algon Carbon Corporation of Moon Township, PA. For a total amount not to exceed $195,400.
that's all made up.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
We won't have to pay it. Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the review and approve the Run Back to School race event and Millis Girls Softball Family Day event. So first we'll have Allison Mauer.
And just quickly, the Millis Girls Softball Family Day event was canceled, and so
Oh.
we do not need to approve that,
Okay.
unfortunately.
All right,
But yes, Allison Marr is here.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I am here on behalf of the Millis Boosters. I am the race director. This will be our 8th year, I believe, for the Run Back to School. It kind of continues to take off, which is exciting. We had our biggest year by far last year, over 200 participants. A larger contingency of younger runners, which is exciting, more community members outside the community members. As it grows, we have plans to streamline things, just slightly change to make it less crowded and just more user friendly, but it's fun. Everyone usually has a good time and I appreciate the support that some of you have come year after year, so I appreciate that. So we're just requesting, ahead of tonight, I've touched base with, the fire and police chiefs, school administration, the facilities manager over there, the rec department, DPW, just trying to make sure that everyone is on board and no conflicts, and it seems like everyone else says it's a go, so hopefully we can confirm that tonight.
And Ellen said she'd run again, right? Ellen?
yes, but I have only on the condition, I don't wanna make a thing here, but you need an over 70 class.
That's on the list.
Because I can't be competing with somebody who's 60,
Yeah, no,
right?
I think our numbers support that.
Do they support it?
We do, yes.
If not, I'll bring.
More categories.
I'll bring some older people. Okay, that's good. I'm kidding, it's not, but it would be good.
And I'm sorry, I was gonna add one other thing, which is a little bit of a teaser. So I had reached out to Allison, we had spoken to a different Allison. And next year we are planning to do a Millis Day, an official Millis Day. So that will be on your next agenda to talk about getting a committee together and whatnot. But we thought, what better way than to tail off of the run?
Yes.
So the beginning of the day would be the run, and then we would just move right into having a full Millis Day. And so we'll talk more about that next time, but just something to think about. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome.
Thank you for considering us part of.
Yeah, so we thought that'd be great. So it's Allison and the other one is another Allison.
Oh, my
so.
goodness. I think that's a sign,
Yes, it's a sign.
something.
All right,
All right, I move that the board approve the Boosters Run Back to School event to be held on Sunday, September 28th from 7 AM to noon in coordination with Millis Police, Fire, DPW and school.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Ah, you have a great.
Yay!
Caught up.
All right, next, we have a hearing for the all alcohol license for 36 B and C Milliston Road.
Do I need to?
So you need to open the hearing first.
Hearing.
You may need to recuse
Yeah,
yourself.
but I'll
She needs to recuse it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, probably.
yeah, it'd probably be best. if you
Financial
recuse
interest, so-
yourself,
Okay.
Just for the, yeah,
Right.
for this item.
Do I say that or just get up?
Ellen
Storm
recuses
off.
herself.
Yeah.
I would. So if you wanna call the hearing.
Yep, so you
Uh,
need to,
I move the board into a public hearing for 36 Pub LLC DBA. How do I say the name?
Rigna.
I'll get that right eventually. Arigna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen to consider an all alcohol license application.
second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So we are now in open hearing.
So I will just start by saying that the arena came to us, or 36 Pub LLC. Came to us looking for an all alcohol license. We have plenty of restaurant all alcohol licenses available by the state. And again, you are the local licensing authority, so it is your purview as to whether you approve or do not, or deny this application, but I will tell you, they came, they had all their ducks in a row, so to speak. There's a big list of things that they need to provide, and they have provided all of them, so. Once you go through this process and have a little discussion with them, we send it off to the ABCC for final approval. Abutters were notified. As well as, a legal ad was placed in the, old school Guilford Daily News, because the state still requires that. But again, it looked like all the ducks were in a row to me. The only question that I think I didn't have the answer to were the business hours. You might want to speak to us about what hours you were looking to be open. Other than that, I leave it to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, let's kick it off with that. We're, first of all, very excited about
Yes.
the business. Sounds like a nice place, nice idea. What would your hours be?
We're looking for 7 days a week, open for 11:30 for lunch, and then obviously dinner service and then bar service. Pending the license, following till the 1 o'clock license, I assume will be issued.
1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Is that consistent with what we have
Yeah,
with
Yes.
the other
Yes.
places? Yes.
I will tell you, Millis does not have a very big late night crowd typically.
Who knows, it'll change.
People have fun. Then again, I'm
never
getting
know.
old and I don't go out that late anymore, but maybe there isn't really big crowd out there that I don't know about, but so you may end up finding that you want to close a little earlier, but yes, 1 AM is the.
Okay, all right, great. Craig, what questions do you have?
When do we think it'll be
Yep,
open?
got it.
When do you think it'll be open? Not to put you on a spot. but-
Yeah, so try to keep the
Yeah.
mic like
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
inches.
Oh,
Yeah.
but just to introduce, this is,
Yeah, please.
this is Ryan, or I'm Kevin Sullivan on behalf of the applicant, this is Ryan Blaney, who's actually the manager of the Arena Irish Pub over at Bellingham. So
Okay.
just by way of quick introduction.
Nice to meet you.
So we're shooting for by the end of the summer to be open.
Okay,
We're doing a kind of a remodel, uplift paint job, it
Yeah,
needs some TLC and we're taking our time to make sure it's not right.
okay.
Right.
Just because I'm curious, Are you planning to have like a function room space in there? I thought there was a room that could be used for like functions or large groups or.
Yes, so pre-existing, there was a smaller room. What we've opted to do was kind of have an expanded area, that would be kind of like overflow for dining,
Okay,
but also has the ability to be sectioned off for private events.
okay, great.
I don't have a lot of other questions.
You don't have, no, I mean, I think it'll be great to see that space come alive again with another business and, looking forward to trying it out.
The only other thing that you'll need obviously is a common victular license and entertainment. Are you planning to do any entertainment, like with bands and such?
Yeah, typically, what the arena group does, we have more of a one or two piece acoustic that's usually during dinner hours on the weekends. Nothing like full on bands, possibly for St. Patrick's Day, there might be like a 4-piece, band setup, but other than that, it's mainly just atmosphere.
So do they need
So
an
that-
entertainment license then?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Okay.
It's inexpensive. It's an annual license, it's $100 for the annual license, so better to just get yourself covered. Same with a common victular license. I can send you, I don't know if I did send you the information yet. But we can do that a little closer to when you're ready to open if you want to. Just let me know. The board doesn't meet quite as much in the summer, so we may want to get that on for like the first meeting in August at the latest, or the July meeting.
Mhm.
So just keep that in your back of your mind.
Anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, do you wanna make a motion?
Yeah.
Oh,
probably do.
wait, hold on. Is there anybody in the community that has any questions or comments or anything?
All right.
Hearing none.
Okay, I'm looking forward to
Okay.
getting it open, so hurry up if you can. I move the board close the public hearing for 36 Pub LLC DBA Origna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen to consider an alcohol license application.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
I move that the board approve the request for an annual all alcohol restaurant license for 36 Pub LLC DBA Origna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen located at 36 B and C Millston Road is presented pending a local inspection and final approval by the ABCC.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
and good luck.
Appreciate it.
And now we have another alcohol license. This one is simply an amendment. Which means it does not require a hearing, but it still requires approval by the local licensing authority. Again, that's you. And this one is for Ryan Family Amusements. They're simply changing kind of the back structure, the corporate name and the corporate structure. So you have the official approval on that. There's not much more to it. Doesn't need to be advertised or anything. Again, they had a list of documents they had to provide, which they did. And so I will send this off to the ABCC following your approval.
Okay.
Okay, I move that the board approve the application to amend the annual wine and malt alcohol license held by Ryan Family Amusements located at 1170 Main Street by changing the corporate name and structure as presented.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Were you here for that?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay.
All right, just asking. I'm like, I don't know how to spell. You were looking, I'm like, oh, were they here to speak to that? I don't, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we have on our agenda is, and we're 5 minutes early. I just wanted to point that out.
We could do the website contract.
Yeah.
Don't have to wait. It's up to
Right,
you.
there's no,
No, less than, just under 5 minutes. I think we're okay.
okay.
All right.
Just some-
So we're gonna start a discussion about school crossing guards. This issue has come up recently on social media and there has been some, parent emails that have. This is not working. Parent emails that have gone out to the school committee and some other, groups, including the chief, and we've seen it as well. Tonight I have Chief Sapphire here, who's going to be able to discuss the topic with us, talk a little bit about the history of crossing guards in Millis, how we are where we are, how this came to be, and you know, how things are functioning currently.
Hello, again.
Hi.
So I'll give you the backdrop of how we got to where we are right now. About 5 years ago, we put out numerous job postings for the position of crossing guard. And ultimately, we never got any applicants. And it was, well, it interferes with my day, or whatever, because it breaks up your day. It's an hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon. That being said, about that time, automated crosswalks, like you hit the button, the lights flash, that technology started to take over in a lot of places. So with that being said, since we didn't have any applicants, thought about the automated crosswalks, kind of the big reason, right? It benefits everybody in the community. It's 168 hours in a week, right? Each crosswalk position, if it's a full day, a full week of school, it's 10 hours per location. So that leaves you with 158 hours a week when school's in session with no crossing guard. The automated traffic signals at the time were my best possible option because it covered and ensured additional safety for the pedestrians 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays. During the summer when school's out. There's a lot of pedestrian traffic as well during the school day. And make no mistake about it, I'm not against crossing guards, but I'm simply playing the hand that I was dealt. And in my head, installing the automated crosswalk signals throughout town improved safety for all residents at all times of the day, every day of the week. Currently, we have a nice network of them stretched out around the town. We added Lane and Village Street, I think 2 years ago, where we never had anything. Plain and Monroe, Holbrook Square, Main and Auburn, and Park in Maine. So that's kind of like the backdrop of why we are here right now, crossing guard.
Okay, so the issue as it stands is we weren't able to find people that would reliably take on the position. And this included people that would have to be physically capable, trained. They would need to be reliable and show up for that hour in the morning and that hour in the afternoon, rain, sleet, snow, whatever. And we were having trouble finding anybody that would actually do that.
Correct.
So with the installation of the walk signals, what'd you call them? Crosswalk signals, that has put into place the ability for not only the children crossing the street to use them, but for all the other pedestrians that are walking during the day, that especially near the police station, right? That's a very popular crosswalk.
Correct, that's a popular one. And one of the most popular ones is Neva Crosswalk, it's right out here in front of Dunkin' Donuts.
Right,
Because most kids, when they get out of school, they come down Park Road and they're not walking around the building to utilize the button on the crosswalk, they're going past least resistance.
right,
Some do use that, but you'd be surprised if you park out here at 2:30 in the afternoon, how many opt not to utilize a crosswalk? You
Right.
just go across the street.
right. So paired with all of this, we currently don't have a budget item for a crossing guard, which we've calculated is somewhere in the vicinity of $80,000.
Between probably 60 and 80 if
60
we were
to
to
80,000.
reinstitute it, yes.
Mhm. So at this time, we're in a position where we didn't have the applicants and we don't have the budget. Not saying personally, I think crossing guards would be great. People have brought up different options such as using the police as a crossing guard. Well, we can't really do that because using the police as a crossing guard would require a 4-hour minimum per contract payout for their time. So we can't just pay a police officer for an hour to do a crossing guard job in the morning and in the afternoon. So you're talking 8 hours of a police officer to do a crossing guard's job. What else?
Volunteers were suggested, but, my concern with volunteers is the reliability. Everybody would love to do it if it's a nice day, but dead of winter, snowy, sleet conditions, it's, you have to have consistency in this position. So it's not something you can not show up for your volunteer shift if you're volunteering to do it.
Well, and liability for the town, volunteers would bring a lot of liability versus
Yep.
somebody that's hired by the town and it is their job.
Especially if they're inconsistent when they show up.
So that's a question, have you noticed, have we had any real problems at the crosswalks in the past 5 or 6 years with either school-age children or adults, or has the lighting seemed to be working pretty well?
We haven't had any issues in the last 5 years. Since we've had them. I mean, occasionally, we have to replace the batteries, but have the solar panels replaced, but it's a call to the service person, and they come up and handle it. They've been handling most of our signs for years now. Through Mr. McKay.
I will say one of the worst areas is right out here at Town Hall, and it's not in regards to the crosswalk, it's just people running the light.
Right here.
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's a real light, that's not the flashing thing. I see.
right, that's a real.
Through
It
that.
does have, it does have the walk signals. So you
Yeah.
press the
Right.
button, you get.
But
the
it
walk
gives
signal.
it gives the people a red light to
Yeah.
cross with, but people aren't stopping in there still because it's
Right.
new. How old is it? 5, 6 years?
Yeah,
Out here?
Yeah.
Less than,
Five
right?
Brown.
Yeah.
When Clyde Brown was built.
Oh.
So about 5, yeah, 5, 6, yeah.
And we have had a couple accidents out here with car on car, simply because people don't always follow the traffic lights either, but again, hasn't been any issues with pedestrians that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so that light went in after the guards were eliminated, which gives a very good place to cross with red lights if people follow.
Well, the crossing light, I think, was there before, wasn't it? The crosswalk light was there.
There might have been, but now it's a real red light that stops people.
It's a full traffic light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ellen, what do you have?
well, I have a couple of things. Number one is I don't see a problem. I don't know why we're fixing something that doesn't appear to be a problem. That's number one. And number two, if you implement something and you're not consistent, it's worse than not implementing anything at all. Because the first time somebody doesn't show up and they were there 3
Yep.
days earlier, time's gonna stand still. And people are gonna stand and it's worse. And listen, it's hard to get help today. In anything. Maybe if you paid, $100 an hour, you'd get some, I mean, maybe.
I would be there.
Don't sell yourself so cheap, Chris.
I just go to work late.
I just don't see a problem. Typically, when you wanna implement something or bring something back, it's because something went wrong. But I don't, and if you don't see it, then nothing has gone wrong, as far as I can see.
Chief, if we get some kind of a report that there is like, I don't know, concerning traffic behavior at a particular intersection, we could probably have somebody kind of keep an eye on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every day during the week, I'm sure you see the crews are parked across the street every morning. So they're out there doing traffic enforcement, but if you have a specific area, you go on the website, it's traffic request, you mail it in,
Yeah.
goes to the shift supervisors and
Okay,
deploy the officers as necessary.
yeah, because I'm not sure where this came from. Oh, yes, come on up.
Come on up.
Yeah. Come on up and, just, state your name and street. Yep, that's fine.
Hi, Cameron Bixby, 7 Tuckerdale Way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just keep it really close, like
Yeah,
4
4
inches.
inches to
I'm
your
not really public
face.
speaker, that's why I wrote a letter,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna put that out there. I would imagine one quite extreme way you would know there was a problem was if a child was hit.
Which we don't
Which
want to
we
happen.
don't really want to happen, so I don't think that should be our dipstick or our metric. You know, to say there are no problems, because by the time there is, it's really too late. I do think in my letter, one of the best suggestions I've heard is trying to ask paras who work at the school to stay an hour late or come an hour there early and see if that appeals to anyone. 'Cause they're there already. And that's something they do at my school, where I work
Okay.
in Brookline. So I think that's something, I think,
So is that part of their contract?
I don't know.
Okay.
Cause it's not my same contract. But what I'll say is that the parents I've spoken to, it's not so much that we don't acknowledge the reality around having difficulty finding someone to do this job. It's more that it feels defeatist to say, then we'll stop looking forever. Because as we all know, the economy is pretty uncertain right now. Things change in people's lives. Sometimes there are waves of retired people, sometimes whatever it might be. The idea that there will never be anyone who might want to do this job reliably, that just seems unrealistic to me. So I think it's more that from people I hear, that it's not that we have a lot of people being like, not understanding.
Mhm.
But, it does seem like it's not something that we should give up on, since it has to do with child safety. And since the way that we would know there was a problem would be if someone got hit.
But what what do you think obviously, nobody wants to, I'm a
Right,
plan ahead
right.
person. Why do you think there's a need at all?
I think at least like all the parents who signed my letter are, almost all of them, are 4th grade parents. Our kids are about to hit an age where we want them to be able to walk independently around the town. And we've seen cars blow through this light and through other lights in the town really frequently. And we don't want that kind of, I was over there crossing the other day from like where you come out of Clyde Brown and the police station's across the way.
Mhm.
There was a family of 3 with like a stroller and a little baby waiting at the crosswalk to cross the street, and 7 or 8 cars just sped by them. And every time they stopped, no one stopped. It just seems like 109 is a pretty dangerous place. I've seen a lot of reckless driving on 109, and most people I've spoken to who have children, that's what like, we'd like them to be able to walk around independently without us having to worry about them. In addition, I was recently at the Anxious Generation book group thing at the library, where it talks a lot about giving our kids more independence, allowing them to take risks and not tracking them with their phones kind of everywhere they go to allow that. And in order to give them more independence, we need to have some sort of feeling of like safety, that there is that.
But this would only be, but if you wanna give your kids independence, it's not just gonna be going to and from school.
Of course not.
So the
That's a
crosswalk-
piece of it.
But the crosswalk is they're only gonna be there. What happens
1
at
hour
noon
each day,
or
yeah.
4?
Or summer.
Oh, you mean if they were going to?
Yeah, during the
Yeah.
summer, just,
I mean, for me, independence is gradual release of responsibility, so it would start with the beginning of the day and the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'd see how that went, and then as my child becomes more independent, then there would be greater opportunities and more trust that my child could handle greater and greater risk, so to speak.
I
So-
hear you, because I have an 8-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and I have not let any of them walk anywhere.
Yeah,
It's not just because of the traffic, but.
And
But
I hear
nobody
this
walks.
from a lot of parents.
Yeah.
But for some of them, this is the sticking point.
Yeah,
My daughter will likely walk to the library herself regardless of crossing guards or not next year. But again, a lot of us are kind of on the same page that it does, and a lot of us, for some reason, there's this like critical mass of teachers in the fourth grade, and a lot of parents who are teachers. And all of us work in districts where there are crossing guards, so it seems very strange to us that we live in a town where there are no crossing guards. I literally don't drive through one district on my way to work to Brookline where there are crossing guards every morning.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking of another town, but they had a police officer, so that's a whole other ball of wax aside from a crossing guard. But, you know, the para issue is something that, you know, I could certainly ask the school committee, you know, if that's some kind of a scenario that would ever play out. But right now, outside of that, like for this fiscal year, we don't have.
Yeah, I
The
did put
money.
that there's a grant that the police could apply for to get
So-
funding for it.
Then that's not eligible for crossing guards. It's 100%. I read that grant. It's
Okay.
it's a traffic safety grant that you sent me. So what that does is it pays for the initiatives for the police officers to go out and conduct directed patrols to enforce distracted driving, OUI, pedestrian bike safety. And the other part of that grant, because it comes as one grant, part of it pays for the overtime salary for the officers to go out and do traffic enforcement. And then the other portion, don't hold me to this, but
Yeah.
it's like 20% goes to the purchase of, have you seen the traffic signs?
You're going
Yes.
to have.
They're slightly bigger and they
Yeah.
flash. There's one on Exchange Street, there's one
Yeah.
down by, so those are $7,000.
Yeah.
That grant pays for that equipment. It will not pay for a crossing guard.
I really appreciate you letting me know that. I would have loved to have known that in a response to my letter.
I did not get your letter.
So, but thank you. I'm
But,
sorry. You didn't get
but
it.
no, but in all fairness,
Yeah.
there's been several emails from people that I haven't gotten.
Okay.
Because whatever, we have IT, I mean, people, you know.
Maybe the emails are wrong with the website. That might just be it. It's a Gmail. So maybe just letting you know the upsite, the website might need to be updated.
It's not Gmail.
Because that's
Oh,
where
it definitely should
So
be.
that's.
We don't
It's everything Gmail on our website.
It's,
It's all-
yeah, so not on your website.
It's
on his
at
website.
melissa@ma.gov. 100%.
Oh, no, I'm serious. Where did you find
The
that?
police
On
website?
on the police website?
I can actually look at it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious, 'cause I don't think it's on the, I
Find
just
out
know,
the
I'm
police
so excited it's happened, and I'm like, what?
You missed it. You should have mentioned an email.
It is. I'll certainly update it.
No, and if I'm wrong, I'll certainly. fit.
Yeah.
I just.
If I'm wrong, I'm not admitting anything. Putting that
Well,
out-
I'll know that, Ellen.
I'm just putting that out.
No, but I
there.
know, because that's a serious thing. Just
No, I'm going now too. No,
It's
Yeah.
fine, it's fine.
Yeah, I'd be interested in looking to see, even if the paras, it's not part of their school contract. If they were just the applicants that did the job, assuming we can find, and if it's $60,000 to $80,000, we can look at it for next year's budget. But if they're, but if it doesn't have to be part of the para contract, I wouldn't get school involved. I'm not looking this up.
Yeah, so I'll reach out to the school committee and,
Would that be,
Yeah,
would that
I
fall
know.
into the school budget, not the town budget, I would think?
I just
I
think
would
that
think
I'm
so.
looking at the paras as a pool of people that are in town
Right.
that may apply for a 1 hour before and after school
Right.
job, but they have to be out there for. And depending what time their contract ends and stuff, they'd have to be out there early and they'd have to stay, they have to be able to hit their school times.
Or I was gonna say the extended day people
Yeah.
as well.
But either way, we have to find money for it,
Right.
eventually.
It was Nelson.gov.
Oh,
I did
good.
send it to the right place, but I think he's been there since summer.
Okay. I was like.
So.
In which case I apologize.
Just the trail on that sign, so those signs we can move. I know it's not a crossing guard, but there's computers built into that. So if somebody has a perception of, you know, traffic's, the cars are doing 50 miles an hour, whatever it might be. That sign gives the actual individual car count for up to a month. Tells you if they're commercial vehicles, motor vehicles, gives you the high speed, the low speed, the highest speed, the lowest speed, and then it generates a time for effective traffic enforcement. We have like 3 of those.
Mhm.
So that will give you the statistics to know if you need to put more officers in a certain
Yeah.
area.
So we have 4 of those
Mm.
devices, and one of them is a little black box that's just portable, so, and we put that out all the time,
Mm.
at the.
So I think in terms of an action item at this moment, I can certainly pose the question to the school, about paras. Once again, I don't even know if they would have it in their budget, cause I'd assume they'd have to pay for it, or we'd have to pay for it, and we've already done the budget.
Yeah, I think I
For the
was
year.
proposing it more as a way to find a field of applicants that were already going to be there and that would be willing. You know, again, at least in my school system, a lot of times, it's like, your parents will do your homework club, because it's after school. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So that it was more that,
it's a
like,
great
this
idea.
is where you might find a pool of applicants. If,
Okay,
you know.
yeah, let me throw it out to them.
Desire, we're there.
Yeah, let me throw it out to them and see what their thoughts on that is and see if, you know, they wanna try to see if there's any interest. You know, the issue will still exist, at least for this year, of how would we pay for that?
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't think anybody's against it.
Mhm.
I just think we have a lot of roadblocks right now, and money is like the number one.
Mhm.
And then willing volunteers is number 2.
Okay, I disagree. I think money is number 2. I think the volunteers is number 1. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a 2-hour-a-day job.
right,
It's not consecutive 2 hours.
absolutely.
And the minute you have somebody not show up,
Just to find,
yeah,
it's not like they're not
yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I think it's the difficult, I do believe it's the difficulty in finding them, because when my kids all graduated from Millis, and there were crossing guards that were slowly disappearing because we couldn't find the replacements. And then, we put the signs up because nobody applied the 1 year, so that's when I was on the finance committee when the signs went up.
Mm.
So I remember them, going in because there was no applicants at all. And the other side of that is, I mean, I walk downtown in the evening and we use the cross. Nobody will run my wife over, they're scared of her, but they, she makes it clear she's crossing the street. But, it works, I mean, the stoplights work, but, and my fear is if we relied on guards who aren't reliable, then we're going to have a 4th grader who's expecting somebody and there won't be anybody there, which is a worse problem than have a functional light with them trained how to do it. So,
Okay,
Well, thank you for listening.
well, thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
yeah.
Yep, thanks.
Yes.
I think you should have used before 11, even if there's someone who walks all over this, you know, presses all the lights and everything, I think the chief has done a tremendous job since. it's been
Thank you, Chief.
Trying to
Thanks.
Thank you.
get,
President.
get the lights in and get the officers, you know, it works hard at getting the traffic reports and grants and everything, so I think, you know, it's a fool's game to think that, yeah, I don't think being across a valuable job and you're out there, all kinds of weather, you're out there any time, so I mean, you know, the lights work for now, and hopefully at some point we can put people out there to make it desirable, so. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll try.
Yep.
Thank you. All right.
Open session items.
Open session items, okay.
So, Madam Chair, in the board's packet is a email from Jim Donovan, our IT director. He is requesting that the board approve a new 2-year subscription with Civic Plus for website services. The agreement would include both the core website platform and integrated accessibility tools to ensure compliance with ADA standards. So this evening I am requesting that the board approve and enter into a contract with Civic Plus of Manhattan,
Is it that one?
Kansas. Is it?
We don't make any noise. There's a speaker on someplace, or I don't know.
What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a speaker picking up. All right.
All right. So I'm
Put it
requesting
through to the end.
I'm requesting that the board approve and enter into a contract with Civic Plus of Manhattan, Kansas for municipal website services and migration to include audio-eye for ADA accessibility. And this would be, again, it's a 2-year with the option of a 3rd year renewal. So I'm asking for the board to authorize up to 3-year contract and to authorize the town administrator to sign the document on the town's behalf.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The next item, Madam Chair, is a approval of a revised host community agreement, or an HCA, for 617 Therapeutic Health Center, Inc. We do have a current agreement with them, but due to recent changes to Massachusetts general laws, we are required to alter our current HCA with 617 Therapeutic Health Center, so that the agreement will not be in violation of any state law. Town council and I have worked with representatives of 617 to develop the proposal in your package, which is in full compliance with the state law. And town council and I are recommending the board vote to approve the new HCA as presented. As the board's aware, 617 is a cultivation and I believe manufacturing facility. And as such, town council and I are recommending that we maintain an HCA with them so that any possible issues of odor and or noise which may arise can be addressed through the HCA. So with that, I am requesting that the board approve and enter into the host community agreement with 617 Therapeutic for an indoor marijuana cultivator and marijuana product manufacturer, which is located at 1073 Main Street, as written in your packet and presented this evening. And I believe you have a representative.
Right, you have two representatives here.
Representatives.
D'Agostino and Bill Houston are both here.
We can't hear Bill. Bill
Billy,
is mute.
Sir.
Hey, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Pete D'Agostino on behalf of 617. First, I guess we'll start just by saying thank you to the town administrator and town council for working through this. And to the town in general for the relationship we've had over the last several years. It really has been incredible. We know this has been a lot of work for all the municipalities to go through these HCA updates, if you will, in light of what the legislature passed in 2022. So it's been a pleasure working again with the town and the town administrator and town council. We're here to answer any questions the board may have. But as the town administrator accurately said, we're in agreement with the HCA as presented to the board and approved by, or recommended, I should say, by town council, not approved by.
I have a question. This is not a red line version. What changed? I mean,
It was basically in large aspect rewritten. I think there were provisions in there that had to do with certain required payments based on percentages and based on other factors that are no longer allowable under the revised regulations under the state law or the CCC approved regulations. So the contract here is pretty standard for most types of facilities like this under the new regulations. So I know if we talked a bit in the past about how the state has been evolving with the law and the regulations over time, which has changed the conditions and required many communities across the Commonwealth to either radically change their agreements or to just waive them altogether.
right, but this isn't on renewal. This is the existing HCA. So there was a provision for payment and that payment provision's been removed entirely.
Right, it's no longer allowed under state law.
I have a question. Hi, guys. Is this the template from the CCC, or did you guys make this? Did you and town council create this?
We had proposed the model HCA from the CCC. Town council added some provisions as town administrator indicated, specifically related to noise and odor. And we agreed without amendment to those revisions that were provided by town council.
Okay, I totally support that. I wonder if they're gonna accept it.
Yeah.
I agree that, to the member's point, we have had quite a bit of experience in which any amendment to the model HCA has been rejected, as Ellen has indicated and shaking her head. So we very likely may be back to discuss this, but we as the licensed entity were agreeable to town council's edits. My opinion is they don't go beyond the scope of the law. I think they're reasonable and appropriate. However, I will give you an example in the city.
However, it's the CCC
Yeah.
and they don't care.
Right. I will give you an example. We worked with the city of Framingham. They have a solicitor, so in-house counsel. We had to make 3 revisions to get it approved by the CCC, and us and the town and the city were in agreement the entire time. So notwithstanding the fact that we had agreed to certain provisions, the CCC did amend it. So I think to Ellen's point, it's a reasonable expectation by the board that we may have to revisit some of the additional provisions. But we are agreeable to them, and quite frankly, I don't think they go beyond the law. I think town council kept them within the corners of the law, notwithstanding the fact that the CCC, maybe unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, it depends on how you think of it, they are the final approval authority now for HCA. So all we can do as parties is agree to enter into it, and then submit it to the CCC for final approval, which we will do quickly, and we'll get feedback. That feedback, quite frankly, actually goes to the municipality first, and we are CC'd on the communication. So the town will know moments before we do what the CCC's decision is. But I do think town council, again, I think her recommendation relative to noise and odor did not go beyond Chapter 94G as amended by Chapter 180. So we were very comfortable with the provision she added.
And Madam Chair, and I've spoken to the board in the past about the CCC and my concerns there. I think at times it seems nothing short of a dumpster fire up there that they've been operating.
Yeah, at times, all times.
And
Every day.
I'm hopeful that things will start to improve up there. They have a new executive director, which I think is a hopeful sign, someone who's, you know, I know and is a professional. And I'm hoping some of the changes that the legislature is looking at currently will make some positive adjustments up there. But I do agree with Mr. D'Agostino that it's certainly possible we may be back. But at the same time, I do fully support what our town council is trying to do and put in here. And I do support, you know, this approach, this agreement, even at the risk of having to return here in a month or two to examine it again.
All right.
And Madam Chair, just for the record, we do as well. So we're happy to come back should the CCC require it, but we felt the town council's revisions were appropriate.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I move that the board approve and enter into the host community agreement with 617 Therapeutic Health Center, Inc., an indoor marijuana cultivator and marijuana product manufacturer located at 1073 Main Street as written and presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you both very much.
Thank you all.
Very
Have
much.
a great night.
Appreciate your partnership. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
So Madam Chair, staying on the subject of cannabis.
Okay.
So under the new regulations, and state laws, involving, cannabis, one of the new provisions, is that all communities must, that have any cannabis businesses are required to adopt a cannabis social equity policy. Even if they don't have one and one never materializes, we need to have a policy. And working with town council, we have developed the attached proposed cannabis social equity policy in your packet, hopefully for your approval this evening. This policy does meet all the legal requirements outlined by the Commonwealth and its Cannabis Control Commission. The only item that I have not filled in the document is number 6, which describes the % reduction of the community impact fee for social equity program applicants. And speaking with council, the reduction can range from no reduction in fee to a complete waiver of the fee. So it's usually measured in a percentage. So it's really up to the board. However, in considering the changes in state laws regarding the industry, I'm recommending that the board consider a complete waiver of that fee. Right now, under our current regulations, you know, there are no other retail establishments that can come into the town. But there could be a cultivation facility or a manufacturing facility that's from a social equity firm that may come in. So that's totally up to the board.
And cannabis control has eliminated HCA agreements or the
Fees,
fees.
certain,
So-
certain fees,
Yeah.
impact fees within them, they have to be very precise, and now it's no longer.
Right, but
It's
there's
no
no
longer a
generic
projected fee,
3%, yeah.
it's an after the fact fee.
Yeah.
It
You have
really-
to show your damages and your costs, and you have to go to them and request it, and they can deny it and appeal. And so there's really a whole process, so if you have a business that's not cooperative with the town, it's very difficult to collect these fees.
So just my question is then on that, and.
It doesn't matter, it's.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, I was saying 100% is what I think it should go to, but I was just saying, if we put it at 100%. And they do violate our noise and our odor requirements, that's not gonna fall under the impact fee anyway, that's gonna be a. Building inspector kind of thing.
Yeah, that's addressed through the building inspector's
So it's 100%,
regulations.
that's what I was getting at.
So for a prospective but unlikely new social equity business, I think the building commissioner can address those through their mechanisms better than we can here.
Okay.
actually.
First of all, the CCC doesn't care what number you put in here.
Right.
Okay. So. You could put 0%, you could put 50%, you could put 100%. At the end of the day, Millis is not going to get a penny.
Yep.
Okay,
Really, the only leverage we have is through our building commissioner
Right.
and the regulations
So-
there.
you,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
So I'd say 100% reduction is fine.
Yeah. Just trying to charge them anything, let's reduce it by 100, let's reduce by 1,000. All right, so. All right, so I move the board approve the cannabis social equity policy as written and presented with item number 6. Having a 100% reduction of the community impact fee.
Let's think about that for a
Or
second.
do you want to leave it at 0?
No, but I don't know why we should give 100%. I think we should give 50%. What do you think of that?
Well, I was going with the theory we can't charge it at all.
We can't,
So 100% or 50% of 0 is the same answer.
You give away something,
Yeah.
right?
Negotiate them down to 100.
You never know,
Split the difference.
Right?
50, there's no
I'm
harm to
okay
it.
because I think that there is no money coming in from this at all.
There's no harm on the way.
Stand up.
There you go.
Put a 0 in there and stand on principle. No, let's do 50% reduction.
all right, I like 50,
I'll move it to 50.
okay,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you never know with that odor. The only thing we care about with this group
Is
in
the odor.
particular, although I have not smelled it literally
Since,
since
No, I am.
months and months and
so
months
Yeah.
ago, but July's coming,
if they put in your odor thing that you talked to them about,
they did. Not for
then
nothing,
you can tell them.
it's gonna get kicked out. But it's
CCC,
okay, cause we
okay.
can do another agreement with
Yeah,
them.
we'll let them tell us exactly what's wrong with it, and have them send it back.
Fair enough.
I like 50%.
All
You-
right,
what do
I'm
you
fine with
think, Joe?
50. I
That's
don't think it
fine.
matters. Yeah,
I mean, it looks just as good to the CCC.
yeah.
They can't even add, so they probably think 50 is better than 100.
We're not saying anything the IG
Did I
has
just
to
say
say
that?
publicly.
Okay, so you want a motion 50?
50.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
You're the negotiator, Ellen.
Yes.
Do 0. negotiate
My life,
50.
I know, I was thinking of zeros too.
So Madam Chair, the
No,
next
fine.
item, and I want to really focus on this as one of the success stories of intermunicipal cooperation is regarding our animal control services that we share with the town of Medway. That agreement has been in place for quite a great number of years beyond before I arrived here. We have an outstanding relationship with Medway overall, but that's one of our best partnerships. We have excellent staff with our ACO department. But every 3 years, we have to renew the agreement with the intermunicipal agreement with Medway. And our current agreement does expire on June 30th at the end of this month. The new 3-year agreement is very similar to our current agreement as far as its terms. Really, the one thing I would note is Appendix E, which describes the payments by each town for the new ACO vehicle, which was approved at our town meeting. So the town of Medway will be giving us payments over the next 3 years to cover their share of that vehicle. And again, I want to thank the not only the ACO and her assistant, for their great work, but also the administrative staff over at Medway that's worked very well with us and managing this overall, cooperative agreement. With that, I am requesting that the board approve and sign the 3-year intermunicipal agreement with Medway for animal control services as presented in your packet.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. So I will let the board know when Medway approves it. I expect within the next couple of weeks, we'll get the approval.
And I just wanted to throw out that perhaps bringing the animal control services in for one of the municipal moments might be a nice idea.
awesome.
That's a good one.
And I'll tell you, we are very fortunate to have both the ACO and the assistant ACO over there. They deal with everything under the sun with grace. It's amazing what they deal with. Last week alone, it was everything from a rabid raccoon to a bearded dragon that was in the middle of the street. So you never know what they're gonna find.
They are very active, even though not much
I
reaches
know.
here, which we should all be thankful for, because usually we don't want it to reach here, we want them to resolve it.
They're the people, I always thought it was the DPW that you call to come with a shovel.
Yeah.
Pick up the-
Yeah, no, it's them.
It's in the-
It's them.
Yes, they do hard work, hard
And
labor.
I just called them the other morning for a raccoon the size of this desk in the middle of 115. And she responds and it's
Yeah.
gone by.
They're very responsive, they're great with people and the animals. No, truly, I can't see anything, they've
Nope.
had nothing but compliments, and they're also very big in pro-education. They try to take every opportunity, if you follow them on Facebook, I encourage everyone to follow them, that they take the opportunity to educate the public as well, so.
They're
Um,
terrific.
make fun of everyone.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so the next item, Madam Chair, is our first purchase and sale agreement for,
I
sale.
think, did we
Did we
do
do a motion?
I
Yes.
move that the board approve and sign a 3-year intermunicipal agreement.
did.
Oh, we did that one already?
Did we
I think
do
you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought we did, but
We did another so move.
I did, and then she seconded and we voted, but,
Okay.
So you have a purchase and sale agreement in your packet, which has been, and this is with, this is for the parcel at 141 Pleasant Street. No, I'll take that back. This is for, hold on. That's the owner, that's the current person that's purchasing it.
Morris.
Morris.
First Street.
Right, so it doesn't have an actual address, so, again, this was, we did receive the bid at $2,250, and the assessed value of the property was $1,500, so this is above the assessed value. For a parcel of vacant land, so again, this purchase and sale's been really, put together by our town council, and I do request at this time, the board approve and sign the purchase and sale agreement between the town of Millis and Michael J. O'Keefe for a parcel of vacant land located at Morris Street containing 0.18 acres and shown as parcel ID 40-100-000 for a total of $2,250.
so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And just to
Thank you.
quickly add again, if anyone's interested, this is one of the 2 parcels that was approved at the fall annual town meeting back in 2024. We added a whole bunch of parcels for the spring. Those are not ready yet to be put out there. We will not do it under cover of darkness. We will let everyone know when we're ready to get those sale. Right now, we're doing some title research, and it's probably gonna be quite a few months before we can do that, so just
Who's doing the title?
title research, our council.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we met with council last week and went through a whole process, so there's 90 something parcels, they have
Yeah.
to research every one of them. So it's gonna be a little bit of time,
It's
but
gonna take a
hopefully
couple
by
months to go
fall, maybe right after the fall town meeting, we'll be able to actually put them out. But if anyone has interest in any of the parcels, they can certainly reach out to me or this office. And we'll just add you and make sure we keep you in the loop.
What happened to the second one?
it's in process.
It's
but
in
It's
process.
just a couple
PNS
weeks
is out there, it
behind,
hasn't
yeah.
returned.
And it
So
was
just
assessed
wait.
at, yeah, that was assessed at $1,500.
This one, yes.
Assessed $24 to the town about each year on
There you go,
taxes.
there you go.
That's right, very exciting. Little quick math there,
Every
I like
dollar counts.
it.
Just like, you know,
Um,
there's money rolling in.
So, in speaking with our town council, they also recommended that unless the board wants to have a board meeting at every closing, they recommended that the board designate a member of the board to, be authorized to sign at the closings of all of future parcels. So, I'd be asking if there was a board member who's interested in attending closings for signature, that would.
When you say the closing,
What's happening?
you mean the PNSs and?
No, the actual
Final
closing.
closing,
Steve,
there needs to be a final signature at closing, and.
And they have to be present at a certain time, at a certain place.
Yes.
Potentially, a
Well,
lot
well,
of them
no,
are online now.
no, they do them online now.
You can do it online.
So,
Haven't bought a house in 33 years.
oh, I'm
I
saying.
know.
so a lot
Online,
has been done
yeah.
online, but again, it would, you know, from a operational standpoint, it'd be a lot easier if one member was
Online.
designated and authorized.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a meeting if all
Don't
three of
blow
you
'em up.
attended, so.
I'm gonna make this town rich.
$24.
Everyone heard that, everyone heard that.
So basically,
Right,
moving
so that
forward, the
would be
last step of the whole board in these processes would be to approve the
Yeah.
purchase and sale, and as long as your designee is comfortable that the closing documents are in alignment with that in town council.
Yep.
Then they would have the authorization to sign off for the.
Okay, I like it.
I move that the board appoint Ellen as the authorized signatory for all future real estate transactions with the town of Millis is selling a parcel of town-owned land.
Second,
We were not gonna be, so,
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
aye. Power grab. Sign all
Even at- Ellen, that's a step up from a liaison.
Oh,
And you're gonna get to report each of those meetings as a liaison report.
Oh,
You're
go
gonna
on.
win.
Well, that brings us to liaison updates. I have nothing.
I have two.
First of all, before we do it, can we switch, sticking with all our names?
We're gonna talk about it at the next meeting.
Next
Okay,
meeting.
great.
Think
Yeah.
about what you want, we'll.
Yeah, think about what you want.
I'm fine.
I attended the economic development meeting.
That's worth 6 of mine, so have at it.
I would like to invite everybody to RSVP, so we know how much pizza to get from Luca's Pizza for the Wednesday night meeting. It's billed as a community social event, which it will be, but it's also really a working meeting to help define what we want to do downtown. Just to be clear, it's not going to be the town government developing it. They're trying to put together a business group to work on it and the businesses in the area. You're not gonna go down there and vote that we have the town administrator or the town select board purchase buildings and do things with them. This is to encourage businesses to do things. Secondly, I attended the school building committee, but so did Ellen.
Yeah, and, do you have anything that was accomplished during that, by the way?
Well, we did talk about, the one thing that was interesting. Excuse me, we talked about the placement of the locker rooms, because a lot of people have looked
Yes.
at it. And they've seen the locker rooms are in the middle of the building.
So what yeah. this
So
is
people with
interesting.
cleats would have to walk through the building to get to the fields. But the problem is, it's millions and millions of dollars to move the locker
Well,
rooms.
you have to explain
Yeah.
that they added a whole set of
Yeah.
rooms across the way. When I
Middle
was going to
school, yeah.
school there, you could walk right outside from the boys and girls locker rooms. Well, now you can't.
Right.
Because they added the middle school classes.
Oh.
So you have to go through indoor real estate.
Right.
With your cleats to get to the outside fields.
And that was deliberate, because by not building that middle school wing, it would have cost us over $2 million in rental space for trailers.
That's true.
And it would have changed the entire design of the building. And moving the locker rooms to the outside would have cost millions because of
Yeah.
all the plumbing.
The plumbing.
So the solution is some type of sports floor that is $100,000 and you replace it every 10 years, but it's way cheaper than any of the
Well,
alternative options.
plastic cleats. Didn't you say?
Rubber cleats.
Rubber cleats.
I don't know if they use metal cleats anymore
I
or
don't-
not.
I don't
I have
either.
no
I don't
idea.
think you can.
I don't think they do. So that's gonna be less traumatic anyway. But you can find a quality sports floor that's gonna have to be replaced, but it's gonna cost millions less than the alternative. So even though it looks inconvenient, it doesn't look well designed, it is millions of dollars cheaper than any of the alternatives.
Yeah, and it
And
also,
it was thought out well. It wasn't, oh, look what we did. you
Yeah.
know.
Rick, Fire Chief Rick noticed that right away.
Yeah.
wanted that commented on, but, they, there's as Aaron mentioned, there's an update on 1 o'clock this Wednesday at the library. So you can learn everything that's going on. They're working, diligently on moving the project forward. One other thing that came up, because I asked the question, the building is gonna be gas, it's gonna be powered by gas. That's what's there now, and that's what's going to be there. But they are making provisions to put the infrastructure for future, to switch it to electric. The stuff isn't out there yet to power a building this size today or in 2 years. Electric only, it just doesn't exist, so to do it is a disaster. And they don't think that that would need to be done until the gas life is over, which is 30 years, not 5 years, not 10. We're not gonna come back in 5 years and say, oh, time to switch to electric, give us another $10 million. So they're really thinking this through. And I think that's what comes across if you attend these meetings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's well thought out. There are
They're
answers
thinking
for things
everything,
that,
and thinking of cost first.
yeah, and it's interesting to watch the cost structure change as they get more and more refined on this.
Right,
And it's moving down, it's not moving up.
right,
So that's as we expected.
Value engineering.
Yep,
yes.
we haven't gotten to that yet. This is just the design. This is just engineering.
It's really good, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm pleased with the whole process with it.
They were even talking about, now I remember, they were talking about block versus brick, right?
Right,
Some of the exterior.
the exterior
materials.
materials, it's, and trying to keep a unified campus look and everything. It
Right.
was a very well thought out
Right.
meeting.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want this to look, they want it to be integrated.
And they don't wanna take down the existing exteriors, they gotta tie the existing exterior brickwork into the new brickwork and tie it all together, it's well thought out.
It is, it was good.
Yeah.
Is that it
I
for
don't know
you?
anything else.
Oh, well, let me start with mine. I have a
Yeah,
whole list here.
I'm just gonna say economic development committee.
Energy, the energy committee. So, they have a consultant, grant money, doing the roadmap, right, to zero in 2050. Well, it's not gonna happen, but they're good. So we had a whole presentation by the consultant and trying to figure out where we are now. What do we need to do to get to zero? And they're talking about town vehicles, that's big. Not making them order them yet, but to consider the possibility of electric vehicles in the future. All town vehicles, including buses. So that's something. The SBC, he mentioned, we had a little meeting that we should let people know about, right? Millis Housing.
Yes.
We had a really nice meeting with Millis Housing and their consultant. Who was he with?
MAPC.
MAPC. And talking about, where we are in the process, and I think people thought that, so this is to add to
Right.
our housing, inventory, right?
The
This
housing
is
authority.
The housing authority, which is 100% based on, 100% affordable, not the fake affordable, 40B affordable, that's got a minimum of 100 grand.
Right.
This is based on what your income.
Mhm.
So this is 100% affordable, Millis residents get priority. And it's free, right? Because you partner up with this company and blah, 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 blah. So we had a nice meeting, and I think that they thought, the biggest thing to come out of the meeting is, it's not gonna be on, November's. We're
Right.
pushing it, because we can't have, nobody wants that with, the school rental.
Yeah.
So the timeline's been pushed back, which they actually breathed a little bit of a sigh of relief.
I think it's good.
Yeah, they said they
you
can
get
make
the-
good use of the extra time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they slipped behind a little bit, so now they're gonna be able to catch up. And we'll have many more meetings. And we won't have to have such a push over the summer because there's nobody here in the summer. And so it will start probably after the November town meeting. That's when we're
So
nice.
probably right after the holidays.
In
we'll really
January,
start to
February,
really
the information campaign for it.
Start hearing a lot more of it.
Yeah, I'd like to see how big the November town meeting is, because we discussed that we have these overrides that could run into an hour plus discussion.
Yeah.
Whether it should be a standalone special or not, but no need to decide yet, but just if there's 30 items on the regular agenda, we may wanna look at split.
Yeah, I mean, so you certainly have at least into, you
And not
know,
having that
mid-September to make that
Yes.
final decision.
Yeah, and not having the housing authority on there is gonna help with the time commitment too.
And in
Yeah.
fact, Kathy Smith, our now town clerk, or will be officially the town clerk, July 1. Came up and was wondering about a date for town meeting and also the election. She was hoping that sooner than later you can get a date established and we could stick to
I'm
it.
only gonna say one thing about the date. We're gonna pick a date, that Jay Talman
Yes,
can be there.
So I know it's early and we talked about it being
But-
early,
but
but
we
if
can
you
get
can
in.
decide on the June 30th and set the date. I think it's worth thinking
Yeah.
about. She also said that the board can, it's up to the board if you want to allow early voting. And if you do want to allow early voting for the vote itself. It
Oh,
could
yes,
be-
for the ballot
it could
question
be-
override.
It can be for a week before, it can be 2 weeks before, that'll all be your decision and your recommendation.
okay,
So think about those things for the 30th, maybe.
yeah, that'd be a great topic.
And so usually you do have the town meeting first and the ballot question be after. It's not required. You
Right.
can do it either way. But, and usually we try to have the town meeting, you know, either the first or the latest second week of November. And then you have to kind of choose a time for the actual election for the debt exclusion questions.
So I won't be here
When?
the week of November 2nd.
This is where it all starts to fall apart.
I get,
But it's not me this time, so that's okay.
so, I mean.
So I
we-
can do
I
November
did it
10th.
last
It's a
time.
Monday.
Yeah, we do have it listed, so November 10th, the only thing about the 10th, and she actually mentioned the 10th.
Who's
Kathy Smith, I'm sorry,
Oh.
we came up with.
Now, you say Kathy Smith's, the town clerk, is she appointed or elected right now as the town clerk?
She is not officially the town clerk yet, as of November 1st, hopefully,
Yes.
November,
July.
But which way? Will it be,
It'll
will the
be-
appointment have gone through?
We're hoping it will be official, she'll,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we do anticipate that on June 30th, that's your meeting, would be the actual appointment.
well, I shouldn't say that, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, we do have to advertise it internally.
Let's
for a
list
week.
it.
Let's just say, anyway, I'm trying to explain who she was.
Right.
Don't wanna get into the.
Yeah, we
weeds,
gotta-
But yeah, so, but anyway, the 10th, so we are closed on the 11th,
Yes.
because that's Veterans
Right.
Day.
Yep.
So maybe the 10th does make sense, I don't know.
Well, if it's a late night, at least that'll
Yeah.
be better.
Right, so that's certainly
I'm
possible.
gone until the 9th.
Again,
Ted, we're closed on what day of the week is the
It's
11th?
Tuesday.
so we're
Tuesday.
closed on the Tuesday because it's Veterans Day.
So we'd have to pick a date for the election.
We gotta pick a date for the election.
But the problem with
Not
that
maybe
is,
11th.
do you wanna have something on the 10th when that could potentially be a long weekend and people won't be here?
Well, that's the other question, and she mentioned that, so something to think about, but again, you
I
might
won't-
wanna reach out to council and
I
figure out what
literally
date to
can't
make
be
it.
here the week
All right, we'll
before,
figure it
Yeah.
out.
so.
So just, it's early, but I'm just telling you, if we can get a date now, it's a good idea probably for everybody.
Yeah, and the vote doesn't have to be in November for the ballot vote.
Right.
That
Correct.
could be,
It could be in early
So-
December.
so we could do like, I'm just throwing it out there, you could do the 17th for town meeting, you don't wanna do the week of the 24th for,
Obviously,
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
I know
So
if
you could
go-
do December 1st, just in
Post
theory,
it.
yeah.
If you go too, I
Last
would go
thing-
too much past, right, the 10th of November, if you can help it, because then you start getting into issues with the financial stuff.
Yeah, I can
ability.
speak with the finance folks about the
Karen.
17th, but
Yeah.
how would you work?
I am gone.
Second.
I'm gonna tell everybody on TV
That's all right.
that I'll be gone.
But someone will be at our house with a.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'll be.
I'll be gone the week of the 2nd.
So I'm house sitting for the
November.
week of the 2nd to the 9th is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Looking forward to traveling.
Okay. Okay,
So, yeah, 17th, you couldn't do it later than the 17th, that would be
No, that would be,
too late,
no.
so that's your drop dead, but you could do it the 10th or the
All right,
17th.
we'll talk about it.
yeah, the
Okay.
long weekend issue myself.
Yeah.
Just wanted to poke you.
Okay, what's-
start
what's-
thinking about it.
what's left?
The water sewer commitment.
So, I am recommending the board approve the water and sewer department commitment to the collector for May 2025. And total amount of $1,387.46.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
You and I recommend that the board approve the water and sewer department commitment to the collector for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 25. For a total of $923,561.46.
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now Craig.
I move the board enter executive session for the following reason. To conduct strategy session in preparation for contract negotiation with non-union personnel. Finance director, town administrator.
I'll pull the board. Ellen?
aye.
Craig?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Millis Community Media, for taking care of us on TV, and have a great night, everyone.